Wonderful. I think I almost cried. I just love that. I once worked for a refugee resettlement organization myself, so that hit home. Anyway, so I'm going to introduce the next two. So we're going to hear a word from our sponsor, Charles, at South Arts, and then that's going to be followed by another success story, Kate DeLong from Blue Ridge Mountain Festival. Okay? And then lunch after that.
Oh, wow. I haven't even said anything yet. Well, hey, everybody, how excited are you to be back at Georgia Arts Day after 5 years? So I've gotten to know Patrick and Maduda over the last couple of years, and it's been a real pleasure, and just really thrilled to be here today and be part of this event. And actually, I just want to also ask you to, we're all so busy in this field. There's so much going on. Will you give yourselves a round of applause for being here as well? All right, and then I just have a couple more people. I've got some South Arts colleagues in the audience. Would you please raise your hand? Hey, friends. So I'm going to talk a bit about South Arts, but our staff is spread throughout the region. But I partly wanted to point out my colleagues because Atlanta is our home base, and we want y'all to know that we're here, and we want to get to know you and share what we're doing and so forth. And I also wanted to recognize we have a couple of board members who are involved: Tina Lilly, who spoke earlier, and Senator Sonia Halpern, who you'll hear from a little bit later. So just curious, how many people before today had heard of South Arts before? Okay, wow. That's great. Okay, so a whole lot of people. There's a few people who didn't raise their hands, so I'm still going to tell you a little bit about what we do. For those who don't know, we are one of 6 regional arts organizations in the country. Together, we cover all 50 states and the territories, and our mission is advancing Southern vitality through the arts. So through our work, we fund, build, and amplify the arts sector, starting here in the South, but nationally and internationally as well. So speaking of funding, we currently have some grant opportunities that are open for artists, including our individual artist career opportunity grants and our Jazz Road tours. Some of our opportunities for arts organizations include presentation grants and traditional arts touring grants, just the ones that are open right now. But please check out our website, southarts.org, for more information on these and more grant opportunities. And as I mentioned, we also are focused on building the arts and culture sector. So I want to give a shout out to the Creative Placemaking Summit, which is a gathering of artists, administrators, community leaders, planners, designers, and others professionals exploring models at the intersection of arts, culture, heritage, and public policy. Do y'all know where it's going to be? It's in Atlanta. That's right. It's coming up March 5th through 8th, and our program director, Jessica Holland, is here, who runs that program. I hope you'll come out March 5th through 8th for the Creative Placemaking Summit. And also on the topic of building, we also offer a number of professional development opportunities. So, for example, we've got some upcoming webinars on topics such as how to avoid burnout for creatives and social media essential tips. In terms of amplifying the sector, we work with state agencies and statewide advocacy organizations across the region, which is part of the reason why we are involved in today's event and so excited. But I want to say just part of our role in advocacy is sharing information about what's happening in the sector here. So, the South, as you know, is an incredibly diverse and growing region. Raise your hand if you think we are better funded than the rest of the country in terms of arts. That's a laugh line. Yeah, great. Raise your hand if you think we are less well-funded than the rest of the country. Yeah, you're right. So the Freedom Map study came out in 2020 and shared that per capita arts funding in the region is $4 compared to $8 nationally and $16 in the Northeast. And that's even besides the lack of equity in the way grants are actually distributed, a longer topic that we don't have time to delve into today. But we also look at NEA funding. And in the latest round, 2 of the 9 states we serve in the Southeast were above the average in terms of total amount of grants and just total number of grants and the total amount of funding. And all the other 7 states were below the national average, including Georgia. So that's the bad news, but there is good news, right? We're thinking about the future. Thank you, Ren. And these inequities aren't going to be solved overnight, but really being here today, like Emily said, is kind of a first step, right? And statewide support is essential, which is why it's not just huge that y'all are here today, but that you're also hopefully all going to go speak with your representatives tomorrow and then stay in touch with them throughout the year. And just a reminder to never share a story without a statistic or a statistic without a story. It's the power of those two together that really, that's where the magic happens. This is also a really great opportunity, because I mean, I've met people already who are here from all across the state, which is awesome, to think and connect with your colleagues on local advocacy. What can you do back home? And I think it's amazing that we've got these two efforts that are happening here in Atlanta right now, so shout out to our friends who are doing that work. But really, local advocacy is something we're seeing people really focus on across the region. And then, of course, there's national funding as well. And, the thing I would say, although I shared that statistic about NEA funding, don't count yourself out. Whether you're an artist or an organization, if you see an opportunity, check it out. See if you have an idea, a project, or if this just fits what your organization does. Maybe set up a phone call or a meeting with a program officer and learn a little bit more. Because, we have to advocate for ourselves. And if we count ourselves out, then we don't give people an opportunity to say yes, right? So that is something we're really focused on. So again, I just want to thank our organizers for making today happen. Please connect with a South Arts colleague, maybe meet a new person from South Arts if you haven't met somebody who's here before from our team. And just like to close, since I think this is also about inspiration, right? I'm going to close with a quote that I really like by Darren Walker, the president of the Ford Foundation. "The arts are not just essential, they are an example for all our work. Their impact cannot be quantified because the impact of empathy or love is immeasurable." Thank you.